Go.
Welcome to the first ever episode of Suplex Biddies.
From the top rope, huh?
I'm your host, the Sploosh Captain, Christopher Jones. To my right, probably different on your screen, is the resident DJ, Grandma's Eclair, Diego the DJ, Galvis. Diego, say hello.
Hello, Grandma. Hello, Eclair. Hello, everybody.
And then on my camera, he's down. He might be somewhere else, depending on what it looks like. We have the captain, the wrestling aficionado, Andrew Honeybuns Hunneman. How are you?
That's me. Hey, how you doing?
So we got a lot to talk about this week. We got a lot of wrestling content that we're going to dive into. But first, we're going to dive into the Elimination Chamber. So the Elimination Chamber was the most recent pay-per-view for WWE.
Yes.
Wasn't bad.
We previewed it amongst ourselves. We're going to just go over the pay-per-view really quickly and give our thoughts on it. So first, for foremost, let's talk about the pre-show match, which has implications. So Keith Lee was unable to perform due to injury. So the triple threat match for the United States title was still on the line. At the pre-show match, it was a fatal four-way between John Morrison, Elias, Mustafa Ali, and Ricochet. The winner would join the triple threat match. Morrison took the win there, so he was on the main card there.
Yep.
Then we started off the show with the SmackDown Elimination Chamber for the immediate WWE Universal Championship match where Daniel Bryan beat Jey Uso. And that as the last fall in the final two. Agreed. Roman Reigns then came down and made Daniel Bryan submit in under 2 minutes. Not
Big
ideal.
Freaking, guillotine right there.
not ideal for the casual fan
of
the product.
Not
ideal. Matt Riddle pinned John Morrison to become the new United States champion, which was great because Bobby Lashley didn't have to take a pin to lose the title, and now he's on to bigger and better things.
Never mind. Go. We can cover that.
Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler beat Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks to retain their women's tag team championships due to a Reginald interference.
Right.
The Reginald angle with Belair and Sasha is slowly becoming a weird one. We're going to be talking about that when we go over SmackDown this week. Then we have the Elimination Chamber for the WWE title. Drew McIntyre retained, beat all five men. He pinned AJ Styles to solidify the championship win. After the cage came up, Lashley attacks Drew McIntyre from behind. And
cue Piz's ringtone.
cue the Miz's awesome entrance music. He came out and picks up the win as he cashed in his Money in the Bank and is now a two-time world champion and the first ever two-time Grand Slam champion, which has never happened ever in the WWE.
Yep.
So all in all, I thought we had a pretty good pay-per-view here.
Yeah. It was entertaining as heck. It was very, very few matches, but they used their time very well.
I think both chamber matches got over 30 minutes, which I think desperately that they needed. And then they didn't go crazy on the other matches, as I think the highest was the women's tag match was still under 10 minutes.
Really? That's
So they kept it all within the program. I thought, personally, the big winner is Bobby Lashley for me from the pay-per-view, only because he dropped the title, A, without losing, and B, now they can do more with him on the main event scene. So for Raw, that's a big win for them. For SmackDown, I thought the big winner was Daniel Bryan. The Bryan Mania hype that we've been accustomed to seeing, it looks like it's going to happen again. It looks like he's about to get pushed to the fucking moon. But again, we'll have to wait and see what happens. So real quick.
Well, don't forget, you're missing one important tidbit. After Roman Reigns defeated Daniel Bryan in their championship match, who came out and sent a little message to the head of the table.
That's right.
That's right.
And then did the old
point in WrestleMania. Yeah. So officially at WrestleMania right now, Edge and Roman Reigns is official as of the Elimination Chamber, as Edge came out and speared Roman Reigns and stood over him and pointed at the WrestleMania sign, solidifying that the Royal Rumble winner for the men's has his sights set on the head of the table, Roman Reigns.
What a spear! I thought I definitely saw Roman Reigns' soul just depart his body within seconds. It was just like
it was a good spear. It was a good spear.
I've never seen somebody be folded like that in my life.
So that was the Elimination Chamber talk. Any thoughts on it before we move on to Raw this past week?
I personally thought that the ending of like the Daniel Bryan versus Roman Reigns piece of things. I was so beyond annoyed with the Daniel Bryan thing.
Mm-hmm.
I love the push for him and whatnot. I love the trying to be like massive comeback story.
His last push ever, probably.
Yeah, but at this point, I just want something new. That's just me personally. But again, it's Daniel Bryan though. It's a good feel good story, to be honest with you. But
did you not like the false security where Daniel Bryan had him in his submission finisher and Roman Reigns
immediately got him in the little, the S-lock.
Literally just Roman literally powered out of it.
Yeah, just did the whole.
That was sick.
Gotta love it. Hunter, what an image that was.
I know. Tidbits, GIFs.
Put that on a t-shirt.
Yeah.
All right.
No.
Let's dive into the Raw from this past week. Big takeaways from Raw is Braun Strowman's back.
Yes.
He was not on the card for Elimination Chamber. He wasn't even a thought. He basically came out and was kind of mad because, when they did the Elimination Chamber for the Raw WWE Championship, they did it as former WWE champions, and Braun felt slighted as a former Universal Champion, but he never won the WWE Championship out of a technicality. So that basically set up the main event.
Lashley tried to cash in their agreement. Don't forget.
Yep. So
because Miz came out, he was showboat, and he was talking about how he's a once-in-a-lifetime athlete. He's better than all these names, listed a bunch of people. And
he
Lashley
compares himself to Babe Ruth.
Hey.
What a dickhead.
He's good at being a dickhead. That's what his job is.
I hate that little gerbil face that he's fucking got. Like I want to just punch it so hard.
Dude, the best part. So Lashley came out, was trying to cash in on their agreement. Miz tried to buy time, so give me.
No, Lashley gave him the ultimatum of an hour.
It was an hour,
and then they came out. Yeah. They came out, and Miz was basically saying, "Give me a week to prepare." Because you deserve the best, Bobby Lashley. You deserve to be.
Trying to cop. I didn't want to do it.
And then all these people show up, and then the least person you expect to show up, Shane O'Mac, to deliver the deal. Hell yeah!
And listen, not for nothing, that main event was a solid main event. It had a funky finish where Braun kicked out at 3. But other than that,
I keep myself looking strong. Kick out.
I mean, other than that, Bobby Lashley, man.
Hey, he was getting that push.
Real quick before.
I would give that.
Do we see WWE champion Bobby Lashley?
I hope so.
After next week.
I don't know if it's going to be next week, but I think it'll be at maximum Fastlane. I think you need.
I would think so. I would think so too. Yeah.
I feel like next week's going to be some shenanigans, some interference, whatever it may be. Even though we know Morrison, who also had a match that night in between the hour ultimatum, may have injured his knee on a move out of the ring. Yep. But Miz always has something in his back pocket. Maybe he'll get counted out. Maybe he'll get himself disqualified. But then, you got Fastlane, and if he's going to do something, they're going to keep throwing him against the big boys. So I hope Lashley wins, man. It's long overdue.
I have such a bold take on next week's Raw.
Go ahead.
We talk about this off air, but I personally think that if Lesnar and Lashley are legitimately going to be at WrestleMania, this is going to be the start of it all.
Oh, yeah.
I think that if that's the case, I think Lesnar's going to come out and literally just beat the shit out of Bobby Lashley.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think Lesnar's going to be the fuckery that comes out, beats the shit out of Lashley. Miz is going to stand in the ring, and all of a sudden McIntyre's going to come out of nowhere and hit him with a Claymore kick, set up their feud for Fastlane.
Now, what would Lesnar's beef be with Lashley for him to do that?
Just history.
Just Bobby Lashley's just Bobby Lashley saying, I want to beat Brock Lesnar.
Yeah,
he does. He's been very vocal. That's the one match he's won since he's came back.
So literally that being the only reason.
Does Paul Heyman end up helping out Brock on Raw and Roman on SmackDown, or does Brock do his own thing? We get the Brock Box back.
I think. Listen, if Brock Box comes back, man.
Brock Box.
That was the best, dude. What a week.
That was the best Brock Lesnar thing I've ever seen.
I actually think Heyman turns heel on Lesnar and supports Bobby Lashley.
But what? So how would he fit in with MVP and the boys? What do you think? An extra just piece behind the scenes, or?
It would just elevate the trash talking game to that much of a higher level.
Mm-hmm. I like their business. I wouldn't hate seeing them get on top. I know MVP's hurt right now, but you got the tag team champions who had a very also dominating showing on Raw. Yeah, they had that tornado tag match, which you haven't seen in a long time, against Lucha House Party, who is the most they just get the most stop and go pushes I've ever seen on the main roster. It feels like. Agreed. But the tornado tag was cool. They just beat the crap out of them, isolated them, and just looked dominant. So if they get that whole faction on top, I think it's great. I'm rooting for it.
Yeah.
Another just takeaway for Raw. Retribution looks like it's slowly on the outs, as Mustafa Ali showed his signs of embarrassment of how many times that they're just going to embarrass him. And how many times they're just going to continue to lose and lose and lose. But legitimately, with the New Day spot, when Mia Yim came back, or whatever her name is, for Retribution, Xavier what's his face? He goes, "Oh, there she is. There she is. Yep, there she is. Give me Reckoning. Give me her." It's one of those things, man. It's just going to happen.
Comedic timing, man. The New Day is very, very good. We know Kofi got his little moment at the Chamber pinning Randy. I was kind of hoping that was going to turn into something, but it looks like it's not.
It might. I mean, we still have a couple weeks. Yeah, anything can happen. But again, speaking of Randy, we saw him coughing up blood Monday night. Yeah, I was taking a bathroom break during that, so you guys have to tell me what was going on there. So basically, but I don't. So basically, Orton was just kind of.
Well, hang on. Hang on. Diego. Andrew trying to be all civilized. Dude, you were just taking a shit. Just let it be.
10 p.m. on the dot, bro.
Every
like clockwork time. Every night.
It was just stinky shit. Just let it
be. So basically what happened was Randy Orton was talking about how he wasn't like intimidated by anybody or afraid of anybody. And it just kind of looks like.
Did Alexa pop up in the background on a monitor or anything? Or the lights flicker?
No. Alexa literally, like, they just showed like the last week from Alexa Bliss. Like
with all the heads on the screens?
Nope, it was just with her in the circle.
And
okay.
The star circle and stuff.
The potential satanic ritual thing that she's doing.
The only potential thing I can think of is legitimately the fact that I don't even want to say it, but Bray Wyatt might be controlled in the body of Alexa Bliss and Randy Orton right now.
Yeah, it's like that time Cartman drank Kenny's ashes in South Park.
Yep,
same thing.
It's like embarrassing. No, but I thought Raw was good this week. I mean, we have a big title match next week on Raw between The Miz and Lashley. Obviously, I think we can all agree there's going to be some fuckery, but it's going to be exciting to see.
It was awesome seeing Lashley pin Strowman clean. Like, he kicked out of Strowman's power slam, which almost never happens. I think the only person that's done that recently was friggin' Goldberg.
Yep.
And he still pinned him. He hit him with a spear, and it was a 1-2-3. I was blown away. I was like, really? They're going to do that? I figured it would have been the submission where Strowman doesn't necessarily give up. He just kind of passes out.
Yeah.
But they gave him the big pin. So
it works.
And another like small tidbit that I'm enjoying out of Raw is the Bad Bunny segments with Damian.
I figured you are. Yeah,
like, I'm enjoying that so much. Number one, at Elimination Chamber, when Bad Bunny just slapped the taste out of Mrs. Mouth, I was all for that. I was like, thank you. You have liberated the Hispanic community hate towards fucking the Miz.
Do you like the pairing with Priest?
Oh, I love that. Absolutely,
he's great, isn't he?
Yeah, Priest is
very, very smart to put them together from the get-go. It helps both of them.
I think Priest actually deserves that major like kind of spotlight, but not major spotlight kind of push.
That upper mid card U.S. title.
Yeah,
maybe a title match
that
right
like
after
C
Mania.
plus. Yeah, that like C plus delivery there that he's got.
He's very good, man. His NXT run was phenomenal.
Yeah.
Speaking of NXT, let's dive into that.
Before that, though, don't forget Tuesday's big news. It's never a boring week in the wrestling world, as we know. Tuesday, we all know him, largest athlete in the world, very large man, 20+ year career. Wait, hold on, they own that, right? You can't say that.
No, you can't say that.
So Paul White signed with AEW, also known as the Big Show in WWE, and that they didn't say too much on AEW. And as we know, AEW NXT 2 hour, they go head to head every week.
Wednesday Night Wars, baby.
Wednesday Night Wars. And Big Show's supposed to be there next week, or Paul White. So I'm very interested to see what they're going to do there. That's a big get for them because he can still put on a match here and there. You can just see they have him doing commentary for now. But I think that's a huge, I'm not saying that's like a Hulk Hogan's WCW jump, but it's one of those things where, oh, he did it. Then who else is, who's going to stop him?
Agreed. So we'll start with NXT before we go in before we let you hit the nail on the head on Dynamite. NXT in the Wednesday Night War, their viewership went up tremendously this week. 713,000 views compared to 558,000 from the week before. The card was quite interesting, I thought. Unfortunately, there were some injuries that took place. You had Casey Catanzaro literally get injured live and in person when fighting Zia Lee. She wasn't able to finish competing, so Casey Catanzaro is going to be out until further notice with an injury.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Not ideal for her career right now, as we know.
Do you like you said Xia Li, right?
Xia Li, yeah.
She's her new gimmick, man.
Full heel. She's full heel right now.
So good.
Yeah.
Hanuman loves a good.
I used to make a created
story.
guy that was very similar to that in the wrestling games back in the day, with all the kicks and like the Japanese culture everywhere. And it's nice to see it actually come alive. And she just looks like a beast. It's how you turn someone that's almost an afterthought into a potential main eventer, just like friggin' that.
Agree.
She was all like purge mode on Casey Catanzaro as well. And I absolutely love that.
She did not give Catanzaro a second to breathe. No. That entire match.
And that's like my girl right there too.
Ironic.
I love Casey Catanzaro.
Yeah. Which sucked.
Ironic to real-time things, but
yep.
I don't know if people know of her controversial videos that have leaked of her being out and about at clubs and things during these crazy times. But I think she's great. She's a great athlete.
Yep. And then also the other injury, I believe it was which one of MSK was it?
Oh, I know who you're talking about, but their tag team title match got postponed.
One of them broke their hands and their.
I thought it was just a finger.
No, I think it was the whole hand. Yeah, I think it was the whole hand.
They're so good.
Grizzled Young Vets attacked him from behind in the locker room and injured one of MSK. So still waiting to see that tag team championship match with them. It's going to be great. But let's start from the top of the card. Dexter Lumis and Johnny Gargano started the show. Right. Non-title match. Dexter Lumis made Gargano submit to the silence, which is huge.
That's a big win for him. He's gotten of push.
The way after Austin Theory thought Dexter Lumis was the coolest thing alive. He was like, dude, he's wicked cool. And Indy Hartwell thought he was like hot. So like the way he's kind of going like in two different directions right now.
Yeah.
Definitely looking forward to seeing the feud between Lumis and Gargano build up.
Which, by the way, that leads me to a next point too, because for a while now, WWE has kind of failed to really utilize him, and giving him this platform again to like just really push him forward and build him up again. That is actually a great opportunity for Lumis to finally.
He's a great character. Yeah.
Yep.
I agree.
He's 100% a great
potential
character.
North American champion right there. I mean,
yep.
Yeah.
I don't know where Gargano's going anywhere, but it makes perfect sense.
It does. Leon Ruff was getting ready to take on Tyler Rust. Leon Ruff got attacked by Isaiah Swerve Scott from behind. So that looks like that's going to be a feud that will be developing.
Now, I've fallen a bit behind on NXT. Has Swerve been hinting at being heel? Has he turned heel? Is that...
He's just a betweener right now. It looks like he's going towards the heel side, but who knows? Honestly, we'll know in weeks' time. Io Shirai beat Zoe Stark. Zoe Stark put on a great performance against Io Shirai. And then after the match, Toni Storm came out and was challenging Shirai. That will be happening in 2 weeks. So March 10th episode of NXT.
Okay.
That will be happening. Like I said, Xia Li beat Casey Catanzaro. Catanzaro was injured, couldn't finish the match. The Grizzled Young Vets beat Drake Maverick and Killian Dane. Then in the back, as Killian Dane was looking after Drake Maverick, Alexander Wolf came in. They had like their little beef as former members of Sanity in Dane and Wolf. So we'll see what that leads up to. The main event, Karrion Kross beat Santos Escobar in the no DQ match, was definitely the match of the night.
Yeah.
Legado del Fantasma came out. Karrion Kross was just looking super strong. Definitely an NXT title shot is in his future as well.
Mhm.
But getting that monkey off his back, I think the sky's the limit for Karrion Kross. And then the big segment.
Undisputed it no more.
Adam Cole is undisputed era.
Yep.
Adam Cole came out to give a quote-unquote apology to Kyle O'Reilly, who wasn't in the building. Kyle O'Reilly is out 4 to 6 weeks with an injury. Then Roderick Strong comes out, tries to talk to him about everything and figure out where his head's at. And then out comes Finn Balor. Roderick Strong comes out of the ring. Finn Balor attacks him. Finn Balor and Adam Cole hit in a scruff. Roderick Strong goes back into the ring, takes Balor off of Cole. Balor tags him outside. Balor turns around, gets hit with a super kick right to the face by Adam Cole. They go in the ring. Adam Cole basically gives him a hug, gives Roderick Strong a hug, tells him he loves him, and then literally gets on his knees and hits him with a low blow,
Right, yep,
signifying
move.
The full heel turn for Adam Cole. And boy, am I fucking here.
He's back, baby.
I'm fired up for that.
Listen, there's so many things that they can do now. They have a plethora of opportunities because you still have Finn and Adam Cole, which is fantastic. Finn and O'Reilly, which is fantastic. Put all three of them together. Put even add Roderick Strong. Get ready, because whatever they decide to do with the NXT title at WrestleMania, it's going to be an absolute bang. And Karrion Kross will be waiting for the winner of that match.
I know Finn's been very vocal in the recent weeks about trying to defend it both nights. So you might get something along the lines of like Adam Cole maybe wins the first night and then faces O'Reilly the next night. If they actually go about it like that, you can get all the feuds going.
Who knows? We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
And I'm actually kind of glad that they're keeping the undisputed area onto NXT, because I agree, like it would have been a great segment for like Raw or maybe even SmackDown, but I think coming into NXT just gives it that much more of a proprietary tagline to it.
It's tough to have faith in them calling up such a cool group like that with what they've done with, Lee, and I know he's had some bad luck recently, but even Retribution, and all that. It's not great.
No.
So keep them there. Let them be single stars. You already made one with O'Reilly. You got Adam Cole. Roderick Strong's always been fantastic. Bobby Fish, I guess, might just be kaput, but that dude's had a lot of injuries, and he's older. So.
I told you, the services of Bobby Fish are going to be in a ladder match. They're going to hang it up, and the winner gets Bobby Fish.
Custody of Bobby Fish on a pole.
Just like the one time with Dominic Mysterio, who's now a WWE superstar. All right, Hunter, why don't you dive into AEW and give us the rundown on this past Wednesday's AEW episode?
So it started off, we got Jon Moxley, aka formerly Dean Ambrose, versus Ryan Nemeth, who actually some people might not have noticed, but he's a pretty good independent guy. He's actually Dolph Ziggler's real life brother. So he's called Hollywood Hunk Ryan Nemeth. He's had some screen time the last couple weeks, and he's done some good matches. He had a match with Hangman Page recently, and with he did not get a lot of time to do some stuff this week because Moxley just buried him in a good way, because you needed to make Moxley look beastly. And then he had his promo with Omega about the exploding barbed wire death match that they have coming up at Revolution. If you hadn't heard about that, no idea what it's going to be. A lot of pyro, a lot of stuff. But Moxley,
I'm intrigued.
Dude, Moxley's promo after was fire. He just said, you're going to have to, pretty much blow me up if you want me to stop coming after you. So there you go. Sets the stage. Let's see, what was after that? We had, Team Taz is going to be versing Sting and Darby Allin coming up at Revolution as well. Team Taz, it's actually just Brian Cage and Ricky Starks. But this week, it was Team Taz versus the Varsity Blondes, Brian Pillman Jr. and Griff Garrison.
Rest in peace, Brian Pillman.
Mm-hmm. And Ricky Starks and Cage, it was a really good match. Starks ended up it was kind of, Varsity Blondes aren't necessarily like a important tag team, I'd say, in there. They've been getting a lot of time on TV. But they made Ricky Starks and Brian Cage just look unbelievable. And it's just, AEW has this thing where they just put on fantastic matches no matter who's there. So, and they focus more on the in-ring talent rather than, the backstage stuff and things like that. But yeah, so Cage and Starks beat Varsity Blondes. And just talked about it. Taz was on commentary because he's always hyping up his boys. So you had him out there, and then once the match was over, you had Sting's music hit. And it was coming. Sting comes out, he's coming to get his revenge from last week. He brings out a bag, like a body bag, dragging it behind him. And the whole story going right now is that Team Taz abducted his partner and dragged him from behind a car down a bunch of roads to beat the crap out of him and everything like that. So they're like, oh crap, he's bringing Darby back. But lo and behold, Sting opens up and look, it's Taz's son, Hook. Hook, right?
Yeah. First of all, what a name for a kid, Hook.
Hook. I don't even. Taz doesn't even have a last name, so it's just Hook. Whatever. Yep. But then Taz is like, holy crap, that's my son. And then Sting starts to go toward the ring, and then he does the old, oh, what's up? What's up there? And then they all look, and Darby Allin comes flying down like Shawn Michaels. What WrestleMania was that, Jones? I know you're the one that's seen them all. 10?
Yes,
it was. I might be wrong, but WrestleMania 10 came flying down 10. And lands in the ring. Sting and Darby clean house.
Yeah, that's right.
And there's more hype for the match. I mean, it seems so simple. And the scene, there's a really cool still that somebody caught that was going around on Reddit that had Sting and them, and then Darby coming in hot. And it's just so cool.
So
they've done well.
So I got a quick question for you, as the AEW fan.
Yes.
A bigger AEW fan than I will be, or well, I'm not gonna question Chris on that. But
yeah, don't.
You can, please.
But November 13, 2020 marked a very significant day for somebody in the WWE, Zelina Vega. She was released from WWE.
Mm-hmm.
Her 90-day non-compete is coming up. Do you really think she goes into AEW?
I don't know if she will. She's got a lot of other stuff going on, and she has a lot of options. AEW could use her for sure, because right now, as much as I like what they've done, they've had a women's tournament. There's wrestlers from Japan, and then there's the American bracket and the Japan bracket. And
that's why I ask about AEW. Yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised if she's someone that shows up at Revolution after the title match or something like that. Because she is a big name. She was huge in TNA. Obviously, everyone knows her from WWE, and how she left. She's still got all that steam behind her, and she's a great wrestler. So I mean,
Tony Khan has also been on the record saying that he wants to bring her into the fold.
Yeah,
so.
That's what I was
really
going to say.
Interested in her. So.
Yeah, hey, why wouldn't you be? She's fantastic.
Yeah.
But,
and actually, Hodman, now that I've been thinking about it, your WrestleMania, I think you're a couple of years off. I believe
12.
I thought it was WrestleMania.
Cross the T's count. I think it was 12.
12.
I think it was 12. I think
it was
12.
one of those ones. It's whatever the year was that Kurt Angle won the Olympic gold medal.
96. So
that's
do math. 12. Yep, 12.
12. Okay, so 12. Because I remember from their program back at WrestleMania 21. Yeah, I'm that old. That Angle was like, I won the gold medal, but all I heard about was this dude coming down from the rafters named Shawn Michaels. And that's how they brewed their feud back in the day, which was cool.
Agreed.
But
very good.
Next in AEW, long-term storytelling. It's important. Next on Dynamite, you had Jack Hager versus Brandon Cutler.
Jack Hager.
That's his. Did I say Jack? Jake.
Jack Swagger Hager.
Jack Swagger Hager. Whatever you want to call him. He versed Brandon Cutler, who's one of the Young Bucks, good friends and everything like that. And we know the Inner Circle was beating them up last week. So if people don't watch Being the Elite on YouTube, they do.
Check it out.
They do. It's very good. They do a lot of their character work on there. And the Young Bucks talked to Brandon Cutler and said, hey, we wanted to thank you for coming out to save us, even though, you got your butt stomped. So we're going to give you a match with Jake Hager on Dynamite because they want to give him some TV time and said he's earned it. And then, Brandon Cutler's, he's a jobber. I mean, we can say that, right?
He is.
He's good. He's good.
Listen, nope, he's a jobber. He's not. He's a jobber. Yep. Thank you.
And he's getting put in the ring with this beast of the inner circle. So that didn't last very long. Hager defeats Cutler, and it wasn't really. The match was there for the reason of the aftermath of the match, where you had Jericho and MJF come up on screen, and they decided to beat up the Young Bucks' dad. So pretty good.
Long-term storytelling.
Yeah, hey, it works. I mean, it worked for, who was it? Edge beat up John Cena's dad back in the day.
Right? Randy Orton.
Randy Orton. That's what it was.
Randy Orton punting him in the head.
There you go. Bring a dad in. Pop a buck, dude. He can bump. But they showed him. He was a bloody mess, all beat up. Young Bucks went after him, and I mean, it's just building up to their match at Revolution. Jericho MJF versus the Young Bucks, and I like stuff like that. I mean, the match wasn't needed, but it sets the tone for the post-match segment. And then after that, we had Hangman Page versus Isaiah Cassidy. I'm almost done. Don't worry, there's only like another match after that.
No, that was hold on. That was probably the match of the night. That was
going to be my match of the night. Hangman is just fantastic. Isaiah Cassidy is, Matt Hardy's, I don't know what you call him. He's signed with Matt Hardy's Big Money Matt brand. And he's getting him a push. He's half of Private Party. They put on a great match. And again, this is another one of those things. They put this there because at Revolution, you got Hangman Page versus Matt Hardy with their first quarter earnings on the line, which is a weird stipulation that I never really it's cool because it's Big Money Matt. So his whole thing is, I'm financial guru. I'm this, I'm that. So if Hangman wins, much money, he takes all his money. Mm-hmm. And Page defeats Cassidy. Very solid match. And then Hardy, for whatever reason, I think decided that he wanted to go after the Dark Order again because they saved him again. So now you're going to get a little bit of Dark Order and Hangman versus Private Party, Matt Hardy, and what are they? Hybrid 2? I forget what
H2.
I forget what their acronym is, but the Hybrid 2. TH2. There you go. And that's going to be a 10-man tag team match. That's just going to be fantastic. They love their tag teams, man. And as much as I enjoyed that match, I was struggling to pick a match of the night because Britt Baker versus Nyla Rose was really good. Like AEW has been really not the best with their women.
Well, they've low-key had shit luck with their women.
Yeah. I mean, their biggest star that was their first champion couldn't be here for 9 months because of the pandemic. So it's like, but Britt Baker versus Nyla Rose was great, and Nyla Rose ends up winning in a great match. And it actually hit the top. I read somewhere that it was the top segment rating for like 18 to 49, which is, that prime demographic. And it just brought people in to watch. I don't know when they're going to go on with Britt Baker because she's their best female wrestler, I think.
Think it has to do with her injury history?
Potentially. I mean, and Nyla Rose is a beast. I mean, you got to protect her. She
used to be a guy. It's fine.
Yeah, she's first transgender world champion in wrestling, but it was a good match. I mean, in recent weeks, they've had really ill-timed commercial breaks in the middle of their matches for like the women and everything, where it's kind of broken it up and made it not fantastic. But Nyla Rose powerbombed the heck out of her a couple times, and that was it. Now she's moving on to the next round. And the main event, I know, Jones, you caught some of it, right?
I caught the majority of it, yeah.
Yeah.
It was very good.
My stream was a little messed up. I know what happened, so if you could help me out here. Ray Phoenix versus Lance Archer for a spot in, is it the Face of TNT ladder match?
Face of Revolution ladder match with the winner getting the next shot at the TNT title.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, do you think the right person went over there?
Yes, only because it's hard for you to give Archer a loss in that match unless there's some chicanery where you set up his next feud. So I feel like in this, he has to be in the match only to prolong his character moving forward because of how great of a wrestler that he is and the big name that he is. So personally, having him in the ladder match, he can lose the ladder match without having to be a part of it,
Right.
having to take like a big loss like that.
Yeah, have
Ray
like
Phoenix,
6 people powerbomb him through a table or something, and then someone
Ray
else wins.
Phoenix was able to take that loss, and I think that was the big takeaway from that match.
Phoenix might be the best performer on their roster right now, man. He's firing on all cylinders. Like his matches with Omega recently have been bangers. He's good, man. It's like watching Prime Rey Mysterio, but better.
Yep.
I don't know if you know much about Diego, but look up some Ray Phoenix highlights. I know Pentagon, who's his tag team partner,
I've seen a few of his highlights.
He's already in the ladder match, so it kind of made sense to have not both of them in it, I guess.
Yep.
So I was a little indifferent on it. It was still a really good match, and it's just their styles don't seem like they'd match whatsoever, and they just made it work. And they got like 20 minutes to do it, and I don't know, man. It's pretty great. But now the big thing to take away, they kind of ended with a weird timing thing. I know Jones and I talked about this before. It seemed they might have ran out of TV time, so they wrapped it up kind of quick.
Yeah.
But next week, their big match is Cody Rhodes and Red Velvet versus Shaquille O'Neal and Jade Cargill.
Big Daddy Diesel.
They've been hyping that up for a couple months now. And they did a training montage with Cargill and Shaq throughout the show. I mean, I'm tuning in. I don't know if you guys are gonna, but
Shaq is about to ruin another backboard.
Listen, I'm gonna have NXT here. I'm gonna have AEW here, and I'm just gonna sit back. Yep.
Enjoy the moment.
Enjoy the graps, baby.
Exactly.
God. Yeah. No, that was the AEW segment. So the last thing we're gonna touch upon is we're gonna do SmackDown, and we're gonna do it quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, start of the show, Roman Reigns came out and said how SmackDown needs him. He's the head of the table, and Edge made the wrong choice choosing him because he doesn't want to hurt him because he is a father.
Mm-hmm. It's always that.
Then Daniel Bryan came out and interrupted, basically suggesting that Roman was a coward for showing up and beating him down after the match was over.
Typical Daniel Bryan. I mean, anybody with those initials, DP, douchebag Bryan.
No, come on. He's just an antagonist. That's what he's paid to do.
He's just a vegan, all right? Diego, come on.
So then Bryan challenged Roman in the fast lane, and before Roman could give his answer, Jey Uso comes in, hits him with a blindside, setting up their match for the main event, which was very good. It ended in a double count out, unfortunately, but it was still a very good match overall.
That ended up being the main event, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Edge, and then after Roman and Uso leave the ring with Daniel Bryan, and Edge interrupted Adam Pearce and Sonya Deville, who is now slowly becoming the on-personality assistant for Adam Pearce on SmackDown.
Like a women's division consultant or whatever they're calling her.
The one that beat Stephanie McMahon.
Stephanie McMahon. So basically, Edge interrupted him and looked like he was taking exception to the fact that Bryan was getting a title shot at Fastlane, which... Okay, but like you have a main event match with whoever at WrestleMania.
So I think Edge's thing is because the way they were building it up a little bit before the Chamber was that Edge was saying that Roman needs him to main event, and then Roman was saying that Roman needs Edge, or Roman said that Edge needs him. So they're both thinking without the other one, it's not going to close one of the nights of WrestleMania.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think that's probably another underlying thing. I mean, I'd love to see Bryan versus Roman and Edge. But I know Edge wants Roman.
So I'll give you the thoughts on how the show ended after.
He challenged him too, right?
Who?
Didn't Daniel Bryan challenge Roman? Yeah.
He challenged him in that opening segment, and then Jay hit him with like a cheap shot.
Which set up the match. Okay,
yeah. We had a tag team match to start off the show. For the first match, it was Otis and Gable being the Mysterios. Legitimately, this was a great building match for Otis and Gable here. They looked solid. They won cleanly and decisively as heels and beat guys like Mysterio and Dominic, who have been an important part of the company over the last year. Mm-hmm. So I think they're stuck right now in the tag team ranks of SmackDown. Definitely something you got to keep a look on.
Yeah.
Then we had Apollo Crews embracing his Nigerian heritage, which, in my opinion, led to great character building. And
that was a good promo, man.
He had a great match with Shinsuke Nakamura. Mm-hmm. And now his feud with Big E was going to be great. It's going to be even better now with this new persona that Apollo Crews is bringing.
because they were doing the face versus face Cruz Big E. Cruz couldn't get it done. Now he's a heel, so it's like gives it that little edge. I like his promo, man. The scarf looked nice. The colors were great.
Yeah,
he looks good. Looks then
like
we had our filler match of the night. Tamina Snuka beat Liv Morgan. Don't know why Tamina's getting airtime, honestly.
Dude, Tamina looks like she can walk again. Is something happening? Did she get new legs? Like,
apparently she's been reinvigorated. She's been reinvigorated by Natalia Neihart.
Found the youth or something.
Apparently, but honestly, I feel bad for Liv Morgan and Ruby Riott. Creative just has nothing for them, and every time they seem to get like a little bit of momentum, Creative's just like, nope.
They're like the one tag team that's been a thing for forever now. You know, they had their time apart, but now it's like, why haven't they gotten a tag title match? Because they're good.
Agreed.
They're very good. Liv Morgan's great. Ruby Riott's great, but they just, like you said, they're just used to build up the other ones that just get thrown together for now, which is really unfortunate.
So then we had.
I hate to rewind it, but Aaliyah Gutierrez, Dominic Mysterio's sister. Wow, just wow. That's all I gotta say.
They dropped that angle too. Her and Murphy, just not a thing anymore.
But I mean, listen, Murphy's got to let that
Spanish
thing grow
in you.
up.
I get it. I
ain't saying it. That's why I'm just doing this.
She's got to grow up a little bit.
She will. Don't you worry.
She's young, dude. I think she was like 19 or 20 when she was on.
She's like 19. Yeah.
That's wild.
Plenty of time. Then we had Bianca Belair, the winner of the Women's Royal Rumble, make her decision. Reginald came out, tried to sway her away from Bianca, from challenging Sasha. Sasha came out and basically was like, choose me. And Bianca gave a great promo. It wasn't a lot, but Bianca basically said, I am the BEST of WWE, and I'm going to beat you for that at WrestleMania.
I thought Sasha came off wicked flat. I don't know. When she came out, it just looked like she was reading some lines off a piece of paper. Like,
for somebody that has had experience doing promos, like she looked so unprofessional. She looked more of a rookie than anybody else.
It was very monotone, unfortunately. And it's one of those things where it was very it was almost like she was trying to send the message in a heel type of way, but she
didn't deliver. Yeah, she was literally delivering a speech rather than an actual promo.
Yeah, I'm glad we're getting them at Mania because it's going to be a fantastic match. But I thought both of them were kind of bad.
Only worry about that match at Mania is I fucking, for the love of God, hope that Reginald doesn't get involved.
Mm-hmm.
The way he's progressing,
the way he's
progressing, it's slowly coming off James Ellsworth vibes, and I do not want that to happen at all.
Oh, Reginald can do. He's so much better than James Ellsworth.
Agreed. No, listen, I agree.
The man didn't have a chin. Do you remember?
Yes,
I tried to grow a beard. It looked like it was floating.
Listen, I agree. Don't get me wrong. I'm just talking about how Ellsworth was always there, fucking up the matches. That's literally what I'm getting at.
Wasn't Ellsworth started with Carmella as well?
Yep.
The same as Reginald?
Yep.
Oh, fucking Carmella. God damn it.
It's all her fault.
I think Reginald's fantastic.
He's great, dude.
I
don't
know what they're trying to do.
I just hope he doesn't get involved.
Sasha doesn't need him.
He's going to.
Unless they're thinking of it as a way to push Reginald, then I don't know why Sasha would need him in her corner.
If the Reginald Sasha love story ends up anywhere near the Otis and
Mandy Rose
story, then I'm all for it. But it's not.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
David, take your shirt off. You might look like that.
We're going to Popeyes. Oh yeah.
Oh, my back hurts.
Oh, nice shirt on. I'm wearing Sunday.
Hey, speaking of Popeyes, free promo.
Hit us up.
All right. Let's finish on SmackDown real quick. The Street Profits beat Sami Zayn and Corbin. It was a good win for the Profits who look to get their tag titles back.
Dude, Montez Ford looked real good too, though.
He's so good.
Sami Zayn and Baron Corbin beef coming soon, potentially. It looks like it. Who's turning face? Looks like it's going to be Corbin. Corbin has a face. I don't know.
He's just a good dude to hate.
Two of those. I hate the two of those.
I got dark.
There, guy.
I got dark. My screen.
Oh my God.
My screen stopped working.
Oh my
God.
We can still kind of see it, bro.
All right, there's the light.
Was that Alexa Bliss?
Guess who didn't see the light? Cesaro didn't see Seth Rollins is right.
Dude, that was so funny.
What a transition by me.
Good save. Good save.
Basically, Seth Rollins was giving his plan. Cesaro came out, and Seth was like, wait. I have an idea. Join me. And Cesaro goes, no.
Yeah. Like, no, I'm in jeans without a shirt on. What do you mean? I don't need you.
He goes, put me down. He goes, no. Listen,
dude, that swing was so perfect because Rollins knew how to make it look good. And the fact that when Cesaro picked him up, he's like, put me down. Put me down.
Yeah.
And Cesaro's like,
listen, Cesaro push is coming soon. Main event Cesaro.
I can't get excited because it happens every year.
Just wait.
I just need it.
And this is what's going to happen, in my opinion. Cesaro versus Rollins at Fastlane. Cesaro beats Rollins. Rollins and Cesaro at Mania. Cesaro beats him again.
I would love
Cesaro wins a feud over Rollins because Rollins doesn't need it.
The amount of times I've had to listen to every single person, man or woman on that roster say the most underrated person is Cesaro is just too many. I can't get my hopes up. I hope so. I would love to see it.
Then main event.
Hold on. Did you see Seth Rollins get his jacket to fly off as he was?
Yes,
spinning?
I did. Mm-hmm. He's very good at what he does.
That's pretty good. That's a good clip if anyone wants to find it.
Last thing was the main event. Jay Uso and Daniel Bryan finished in the double countout, which leaves the road to Fastlane kind of in question. At the beginning of the night, it looked like we were going to get Roman and Daniel Bryan. Now, I'm kind of thinking that WWE is just going to say "fuck you" and give us a tag team match where it's Daniel Bryan and Edge versus Roman and Jay, unless Jimmy's somehow cleared and they do a 6-man match with the Usos and Roman versus Daniel Bryan and Edge and Christian.
I'm waiting for it. Why isn't Christian back yet? He was in the Rumble.
That actually makes sense because then that pushes Christian into WrestleMania.
See, Jones, I'm still going to hold out hope for my prediction that I've given to you before.
Usos
you'll get Bryan and Roman in the title match, but then you'll get Edge and Christian versus the Usos. So
we'll see.
I've been so close on a couple things, and I just want one of them to come to fruition. You know?
Yeah, no,
said,
I mean
ABC, always be closing.
Yeah, no, that basically does it. Diego, do you have any
Well, next week we got to talk about Revolution for sure. Once they solidify everything, their card's pretty much set. And I don't like to spend money on pay-per-views and stuff, but AEW, I shell out for it. They only do 5 a year. It's always fantastic. Agreed. So, and last year's Revolution in 2020, before the pandemic shut everything down, was the best pay-per-view of the year. If you talk to many wrestling aficionados such as myself, so got to buy it, look it up. It's just, I'm excited, as you can tell.
Yeah. No. Any final thoughts from either of you? Other than that,
what's the prediction for the title match on Monday?
I gave mine. Chicanery.
Chicanery.
Lesnar comes out, attacks Lashley.
You're sticking with Lesnar coming out? Okay. Okay.
Lesnar comes out, attacks Lashley, and Miz pins in the ring, gets Claymore kicked the hell by Drew McIntyre.
I'm saying Lashley's just going to win it. I'm just going to go that route because I just want it to happen. I don't think it will, but that's my prediction.
Yeah. No, I agree with Chris.
Diego, hold on. Diego, what do you think?
No, I agree with you.
It doesn't matter what you think.
Bastard.
Didn't see that coming on.
Now, Diego, seriously, what do you think? I'm on the show on that.
It doesn't matter what I think.
All right. Well, that being the first episode of Suplex Biddies, for myself, Chris, the Sploosh Captain Jones, we have Diego Grandma's Eclair, the DJ, and the wrestling aficionado, the captain, Andrew Hunneman. We are signing off, and we will see you guys next week.
Yes, sir.